And welcome back, everyone, to another CranKy Ducklings cast. And here we are, for the first time in a long time, casting another TSL qualifier. TSL number 8, North America. I'm, of course, your host, ZvP, and with me is the lovely, the beautiful, he is the KS2 pro player, soon to be Age of Empires 4 player. It is StarDuck.
Soon to be. I'm already an Age of Empires 4 player.
Where are you on the ladder, mate? Where are you on the ladder?
I haven't played much 1v1. I'm actually playing 2v2s with my friend.
God damn it. God damn it. Oh, God. But yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. It's been a while.
Well, the BCO match was relatively recent.
Mate, that doesn't count. That doesn't. It was one game.
But yeah, it has been a long while before that.
Yeah. Now you have, a better mic, kind of a better webcam. You've improved your setup, and yeah, it's good to have you on. I know that, you haven't been playing as much StarCraft recently, but, despite the release of Age of Empires 4, there's still a lot of major tournaments going on. There's still, like, King of Battles and TSL.
And next week as well.
True.
Yeah, that's going to be, like, 4 more sets of qualifiers. There's going to be an insane amount of qualifiers. I think next in TSL 7 ran at roughly the same time too, and I was like back to back 14 days of qualifiers or something.
Yep, and then there's DreamHack Last Chance. There's like oh god. So yeah. Despite this supposedly being the off season after DreamHack Winter, there's still just everyone else just crams everything into like November, December.
Yeah, not a good time for people wanting to take a bit of time off StarCraft 2 to play some AE4.
Speaking of, as we're getting our lobby ready, how have you been enjoying yourself, with everything that's happened, right? Like AoE 4, new map pool, Kerrigan Survival. What's been happening in the land of StarDuck?
I actually have been playing quite a bit more of the new map pool. I played some Korea. I was on stream. I played some European.
Oh.
I know that was before the new map pool. But yeah, I played a bunch of NA, and then I played like 5 games on my barcode.
And that's unheard of, mate. That's unheard of for StarDuck. For the people in the chat who are wondering who this is, of course, this is StarDuck. This is one of our players from Australia. I'm lucky enough to have him join me here for the cast as we are diving into our first series. A bit of a PVZ.
My favorite matchup.
Oh my god.
Maybe not to cast.
Oh god. I mean, we can get into that, but first of all, mate, who was in the top right?
In the top right hand corner, it is the Red Protoss player, Arthrax's TriGGeR.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, it is the Ukrainian Zerg player. He is blue, representing Prep Esports. It is Bly. Oh boy. And I'll be honest, I'm first a little bit surprised that we are the only casters that dove on this series. Especially because despite being the NA qualifier, I think TriGGeR is one of the few NA players in the bracket.
I mean, I definitely expected him to be here. Is Neve in that bracket? He played on EU. He always plays on EU.
I saw him sign up. He didn't check in. Ooh.
Yeah, it's... Well, there's a few more qualifiers after this anyway.
Yeah, that there are. And as we get into the series, I guess, TriGGeR, have you been, I guess, interacting much with him? I know in the past, right, you used to play or maybe even Theorycraft a lot more.
I watch his stream quite a bit. I watched a few of his tournament games. Yeah, honestly, I think his PvP is his strongest matchup right now, but his PvC is still very strong. But actually, speaking of the other player, I caught a best of 11 or 13 between Bly and Haas on Pig stream. And yeah, Bly was going for like Ravager-ling, like 5-minute attacks, scrappy games like 30 drones, 30 probes, and then straight into like mutas on 2 gas or something like that.
Oh my, what?
I think these games will be quite a bit different because unlike Haas, TriGGeR is a person who likes to Stargate.
Oh god. So that sounds insane. I mean, shout out to Pig for running the, I think it was like the Pigsty Invitational or something. Yeah. So I mean, massive shout out to Pig for running that. But that sounds insane. I'm really curious to see if Bly is willing to do crazy stuff like that when it comes to a qualifier, something that maybe has a little bit more importance. But as you said, Haas and TriGGeR, they have very different styles, right?
Yep. Haas, well known for his like love of +1 and charge and weird early game timings with immortals. TriGGeR, he likes to take it to the late game. He likes his void race.
Yeah, exactly. He reminds me a little bit of you sometimes. Sometimes when it comes to just, like slowing the game down, going full sky toss, and I guess like we can start talking about the new maps when they come around, but here on 2000 Atmospheres, like we have seen time and time again, sky toss here.
Definitely. Bly is making a few more Zerglings than normal, I think. Well, it looks like he's looking to be a bit aggressive. Warpgate should be done in time, but the gateway might not be done. Oh, and the Lings get in.
Yeah, exactly. The Lings, they actually get into the main base. There was no wall. They do get into the natural. And oh my god, Probe's actually going down.
3, maybe 4. Oh, white. Oh, TriGGeR's pulling back. The Adept's blocking off. Shouldn't be too much more damage. And on the other side of the map, 2 Adepts shedded in and got 4 drone kills at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, the Lings, they just keep coming in. Where is the wall, puppy? This is far too much. This is devastating damage being dealt right now. Finally, the Adept is being warped in.
Yeah, that was like a consequence of going out with the 2 Adepts and not having a 3rd gate unit made. Like, TriGGeR was playing that sort of greedy, and he's ending up paying the price for it.
Yeah, a heavy price, mate. 14 workers going down. Not just that, but he even forced the Oracle to come back home and waste energy here instead of being across the map. The Void Ray also here at home, so there was no map control at all. Like, this is a good start for Bly.
A very good start for Bly. Although, it is somewhat concerning that he's still only on 1 gas. Just now starting his lair, starting his spore crawlers. So TriGGeR's not out of this yet. Like, Bly is sort of low on tech right now, even though he is up on economy and up on army slightly.
It could be worse, and because of that, like, there's still a scenario where maybe TriGGeR can still try and slow some things down, right? And find a way to get back into this. I say that, but oh, interesting. He's actually behind this, going for a Twilight Council and a robot.
We'll see what he researches. Charge or blink. But yeah, no Forge, and I think this is a response to taking so much damage. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable with playing into a sort of longer game. Starts up Charge, starts off a few gateways, and so he might be looking to play a little bit more timing oriented. He's only on 2 gases, which is very low for Stargate play.
Exactly. He's just going mass zealot. 6 gateways are thrown down to add to the 2 that are already done. And I kind of like this. Kind of. We'll see how hard and how fast this is going to hit, because Bly is being, again, kind of greedy in the sense that he's going straight into mutas. Yeah,
and if I'm not mistaken, Bly has skipped a Roach Warren, starting +1 melee. So yeah, if TriGGeR can hit a timing right before the mutas pop, he will deal devastating damage. Like, Bly doesn't even have a Baneling Nest.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Zealots are gonna they're gonna be insane. They could maybe even take out the Spire as well. We'll see what they can get done. But again, like, the timer is on TriGGeR. He's gotta go, and thankfully, mate, he's going.
We'll see how much damage he can do. Bly should have suspected something's up by now.
Mm.
And then it gets confirmation of the prism. We'll see how he reacts. 34 Zerglings into production.
That's a lot of lings, mate. Oh my god, we also have the queens. He's throwing down 5 spine crawlers. He knows how all in this is. He knows that all he has to do is try and defend. There's not a lot of energy here for transfuse though.
No, and the Zerglings are popping, getting a nice surround on the initial charge lots, but here come more reinforcements. The Void Rays are dealing work on the lings, and Bly is being forced back.
Yeah, and the queens are falling one after the other. The spines are not finishing either, but it looks like a couple of them are going to finish in the back line. The Void Ray is doing a lot of damage, and mate, the Zealots are breaking through the lings.
Yeah, there's no coming back from this as a Zerg. Even if your mutas eventually pop, like, there are just too many charge lots in Muta lines. You're going to lose too many drones.
Yeah, exactly. And he's trying, 12 mutas are on the way. Eventually, they'll be able to clean all this up, but he's going to lose so many drones before that happens.
And behind this, TriGGeR's already starting Phoenix production, starting a battery. He'll be prepared by the time the Zealots get cleaned up. And by that time, Bly's economy will be in shambles.
Ah, God, exactly, mate. Exactly. Like, 20, 30 workers have gone down. The more workers are being chased away as well. There's a very real possibility that Bly is going to go down to 0 workers. Meanwhile, as you were saying, like TriGGeR, he's getting prepared for the mutas.
Yeah, dropping a single Stargate. I would like to see pretty much all of his money go into... Oh, does he have a forge? Oh yeah, he has a forge now. So into cannons and shield batteries. Just so he doesn't lose somehow to the mutas coming back across the map.
Yeah, again, like there's a lot of micro potential for mutas. You give mutas to Bly. Sure, he's at a ping disadvantage here on the US, but there's still a lot of potential there for him to deal damage. So hopefully TriGGeR is able to respond correctly here, because some of his bases are kind of naked.
Yeah. Although, I mean, it's like at the same time, it is Phoenix versus Muta, and Phoenix are the very hard counter to mutas. So just give a Phoenix like a shield battery or something, and he should be able to fight okay.
There's a lot of shields there. We'll see. We shall see. As the Phoenix is taking a little bit of damage. Okay, we have nice focus fire. 1 Phoenix does fall. Oh, almost a second as well.
This is a nice macro by Bly, microing forth and back. But yeah. At the end of the day, it's just like, this isn't the amount of damage Bly needed to get back into this game. He's on 30 workers versus 57 probes. He has 3 hatcheries that are separated from each other. He has no real tech. He has no real option apart from these mutas. Yeah,
exactly. Like, Bly had an amazing start to the game, but again, maybe not respecting his opponent too much. Like, he was incredibly greedy, trying to go straight into those mutas when he could have done so, but been a little bit safer, right? With a Roach Warren, and maybe a little bit of better scouting.
Yeah, like, in particular, scouting 0 gas on the 3rd base might be a bit of a tell.
Yeah.
That he's not going for, like, double Stargate Void Ray, for example, which you want to get as much gas as possible.
Ooh, and just like that, no GG, G is called, and TriGGeR takes the first game. GG. Well played, TriGGeR. Well played. He's staying strong here for North America, and this is also a matchup that I really enjoy because, again, just I guess sometimes they face off like in ESL Open Cup NA. Sometimes we have like the Europe versus America sort of matches, but not too often. So it's great to see TriGGeR go up against a player like Bly. We don't see it all the time.
Definitely. And yeah. So yeah. I'm hoping TriGGeR does well here. It's his server qualifier. I'm a personal big fan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I went for this series first. To be fair, honestly, it was the juiciest round 1 match. But TriGGeR's here. We've casted him plenty of times on this channel. He's kind of like an honorary Duckling in a way. Like, he's a big fan, and we want to see him do well here.
Definitely. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the red Protoss player playing for Team Alpha X. It is TriGGeR.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player representing Prep Esports. It is Bly.
both games now, TriGGeR has opted not to do the thing all Protosses seem to be doing nowadays, which is sending out the first probe that returns minerals to the other side of the map to block the hatchery.
Yeah, very interesting that he opted not to do it. Especially on Berlingrad, right, where you can get across the map fairly easily, you know, and try and deny this and be annoying, but opted not.
So the upside to not doing this is creep gets to your around, I'd say, the middle of the map very much later. So Queen Walks are much less potent if you do that. But at the same time, the Zerg gets the nice advantage of having an untouched natural, easy to transfer workers, much less prone to adept harass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes a little sense, especially on like this map specifically, you know, Berlingrad, right? Like it all kind of comes together why you wouldn't want the Zerg player to be as aggressive, especially when you're considering Bly of all players, you know, probably the most aggressive Zerg player in Europe.
Yeah, without a doubt, Bly is the guy you're looking for in ZvT. Some Roach all-ins, some Lingbane all-ins, and Mind Games and ZvZ, and then ZvP. Oh, he likes his mutas. He likes a few cheese builds.
Yep, exactly. And everyone knows that. So, again, TriGGeR, bearing that in mind, it does go for this kind of opener, and we'll see where we go here. And now we finally do end up on one of the newer maps in the map pool.
I think this is a decent map for Protoss overall. Well, it depends. If Zerg sort of like get the handle on like maybe breaking down the rocks and sending a drone to mine the mineral, like it might be a bit awkward to defend, but it's not that difficult to defend 3 bases on this map, I feel like.
Yeah, there's some decent like choke points like around, right, that you can take advantage of. Sure, there are a decent amount of pathways and the rush distance is fairly small, but I mean, yeah, I don't think it's as defendable as maybe Beckett. But yeah, I'm not too sure yet.
As 2 Lings slip in and again confirm the Stargate, which I expect TriGGeR will go for every game this series.
I imagine so. You don't think he's one to cannon rush?
No. Okay. But yeah, nice microbed TriGGeR, not losing a Ling so far and killing all 4 Zerglings. Bly does get the confirmation that's a Stargate, but I don't think it's worth losing the 4 Zerglings, because that means you have to make additional Zerglings if TriGGeR moves out, which, yeah, he's shading out now.
Yeah, I was honestly a little bit surprised that all 4 went in. Usually you only have 2 like slip in just to scout and confirm, but like Bly doubled down on that, hoping for some damage.
Well, which is maybe a bit optimistic considering you're playing versus an NA on NA server.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, Bly doing Bly things, of course, being aggressive as we know, but again, like he's down in this series. To be fair, something that I should mention is that this is a double elimination bracket, so you do have some room for, you know, to make some mistakes. You know, you have that little bit of leeway, but you don't want to, you know, do that in the first round. I feel I don't know that.
Another thing of note is Bly has decided to send 2 overlords to the other side of the map to scout, maybe a bit scarred from last game. We'll see if TriGGeR scouts around the edge of his base for more overlords, because if he loses both, that is a serious dent to your economy as well.
Yeah, it really is. Hopefully it doesn't. I know Bly wants to try and slip in. He's being a little bit greedy. I think he wants to avoid going for Pneumatized Carapace and like go in for another scout. We'll see if it's going to pay off for him. Meanwhile, at the same time, a couple of adepts are looking to shade in. Oh my god.
This is a nice timing. Right before the Roach Warren finishes, forcing the Zerg to make a lot more extra Lings when he really wants to be making drones right now. And the Oracle slips in as well to the natural, and then the Adepts shade into the main. Nice multitasking by TriGGeR.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of damage is being done here. We don't have WCS game hard, so we do have to kind of count manually, but 4 drones have gone down. Eventually, these Adepts will get cleaned up, but again, really nice damage.
And we'll see. I think, yeah, Bly is just pulling the trigger from now. He's mined out the front minerals. He's going all in. And on 36 workers, I think TriGGeR can afford to give it the 3rd.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to do so. He did end up going for that double Stargate opener. It was scouted by Bly, and he has decided now is the time to go. The Void Rays are doing a decent amount of damage. The Lings arguably coming in a little bit premature. The rest of the Queens are still on the way, and yeah, the Lings are all getting cleaned up.
Yeah, with the Minerals Miner, it is a very, very short rush distance to the TriGGeR third. And yeah, TriGGeR has made the smart call, I believe, to give up his third. He knows he's done some damage on the other side. He doesn't need to keep 3 saturated bases versus basically 2 base economy Zerg.
Exactly. We already have all the cannons and shield batteries on the way here. Meanwhile, Bly is going to be able to take out this third base, but again, you could argue that maybe he's wasting some time here. At least he's able to get a couple of pylons. But TriGGeR, he's buying valuable time for his attack defense.
As well as for more Void Rays and +1 to be finished. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep his Cybernetics core powered and alive before +1 finishes. That pylon is looking a bit precariously placed right now.
It really is, and we don't have a follow-up pylon either, but so far it has not been focused down. You know, instead, okay, there we go. We do have a couple of bios, and it looks like it will be depowered.
Shield Battery Overcharge goes offline with that, and a few Shield Batteries finishing up. I think the Lings are just going to be too much, and what seals the deal.
Yeah, the Lings are going to be flooding in, or they should be flooding in. We do have another pylon on the way to help repower everything, but ooh, some of the bios are landing as well. There's only 3 Void Rays left.
Yeah, and also both Warp Gates are unpowered, so TriGGeR can't spend money on like ground units to block the Zerglings from running in. And this is a common scenario where the Zerglings just ravage a mineral line, and you can do nothing basically to stop it. Like, you don't have a battery or a cannon there to help the probes fight, and yeah, more Lings streaming in. I think this might be GG timing soon.
Yeah, it looks like Bly has broken through, and again, a lot of this does kind of come down to the map as well. You were talking about Berlingrad is the shortest map, and GG gets called.
So I think just what happened there was TriGGeR was a little bit too greedy after his initial damage, and he might have also considered maybe shading the Adepts back to his natural, because you've already done eco damage to the Zerg, forcing them to make a lot of additional things in that situation.
Yeah. God, it's kind of rough because I don't think he had anything other than the Void Race to defend. I think he had one Adept at the wall. Wall.
Yeah.
Oh god. Other than that, it was also really unfortunate. You know, the shield battery that he chose to overcharge happened to be the one that was being powered by that one pylon as well, so the overcharge was half wasted. On top of that, he also didn't foresee the fact that he did have kind of an Arthrosis pylon there, like the one pylon powering everything, and he didn't really set himself up to take care of that and throw down additional pylons just in case. But yeah. Oof.
Yeah. But in general, like 56 probes is a bit too high.
True. Yeah.
40 all in. It's just rough on this sort of map where they leave and they're already halfway across the map and they're at a third.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of, we're ending up on another map short by ground. Go for it, mate. Go.
Okay. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the red Protoss player playing for Team Alpha X. It is TriGGeR.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player. He is blue, representing Prep Esports. It is Bly.
One thing to note about this map is the you know where they're coming from. You don't need to second check yourself. Do I need to build more in my natural or my third base? It's just one attack path. So that makes it somewhat easier to defend, because usually Zergs scout the third, scout the natural, see which one's less static, and push into the other side. But you can sort of defend both with static defense pretty easily on this map.
Oh yeah, with the way that you can maneuver your Void Race to kind of cover both as well, like it can be a little bit easier. Meanwhile, we do have Bly going for a proxy hatch. Bly doing Bly thing.
This is the very economic variant of the proxy hatch. which I think 2-gate Cyber is a good response. Or, and this is what I do, I don't know if it's any good, but I just throw down a Forge and reactionary cannon rush them.
Of course you do, of course you do. Unfortunately,
just because their pool is so late.
It is, it really is. As you were saying, it's hatch, gas pool. It's insane.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into things, I want to give a bit of a shout out. Thank you so much, Bel Air. First, welcome back to StarCraft. I know you've been on a bit of a hiatus, but thank you so much for the raid. I hope you enjoyed the TSL qualifiers. He, of course, is a German caster, and he was covering the European qualifier earlier today. So thank you so much for the raid. Much love. Much love.
Muchas gracias.
That's not German.
Hey, we're a Spanish channel, right?
Muchas gracias. Todos que vienen. Exclamation mark Funada StarDuck in the chat, please. Thank you. Thank you. And yo, Bly even goes for the gold, but thankfully, yo, TriGGeR scouts it immediately.
Ooh, is it gonna throw down shield batteries? And yeah, this looks like it'll be quite annoying for Black because Link's raid is just starting right now, which means it will not be done until like 4:10, 4:20.
Oh my god, exactly. Meanwhile, okay, nice catch here. A lot of damage already done to this Adept, but again, the Lings are being shaved off. They're being distracted as we're already getting some damage done here on the initial hatchery. We're still lacking. Okay, there we go. Shield batteries.
Yeah. The Adept does get taken out, but at the cost of a few Lings, and a few Lings are going to be very, very important here. The Stalker is positioned nicely to support the Zealot, and the 2 shield batteries will ensure none of these units go down. And Bly is actually taking the choice of going straight across the map to try and deal counter damage.
Oh god, meanwhile the probe will get here just in time. Can he get a wall off though as the Lings are about to slip in? He just barely.
Just barely gets the wall off.
Oh god.
Chrono is the Adept out. I think that'll be done in time to deter the Lings, and so Bly will have to think about, alright, do I go all in on this, or do I try and defend my gold base, which is, actually it's bleeding out now.
Yeah, exactly, it's dead, mate. Oh god, unfortunately Bly did not cancel his base. It does die, it does go down, but Bly, he's going for a bit of a Ling flood here. You know, there are a lot of Lings waiting outside the main base, but we have a sentry on the way, and it's just about to pop out.
Yeah. Force Field will buy a lot of time, but he hasn't thrown down any shield batteries. Ooh, this might be rough. He needs to quickly reroll the left side gateway, or with an additional sentries. He doesn't have the gas though.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the gateway may go down here. Yes, it will. Meanwhile, we do have another probe. He's trying to wall off, or he's trying to, again, force a choke point.
Ooh, this is not a full wall. Lings can slip in the sides, and they do get in. Shield batteries almost done. Bly focuses down, but decides to go into the main for more damage.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how many probes he can get here. It looks like he can get at least a couple. 1, 2 go down, but the Lings are going to get cleaned up. He wants one more. Up.
Does not get it. And Bly is droning behind this, and then makes an additional round of Lings, probably for safety. But yeah, Bly has decided, okay, I took a gold base, it didn't work out, time to Ling Flood. The Ling Flood didn't work out, let's just drone behind it.
Yeah, he's got his third base on the way. Thankfully, it does finish up. But what is worrying is, again, kind of the lack of queens. He only has 3 queens for now. Void Rays are being pumped out, so TriGGeR does have that map control. Honestly, the third base is a little bit under threat. But yeah, we'll see if Bly can kind of keep TriGGeR back here, as TriGGeR is going for double stun.
Oh, I love this. I love these sorts of things. Just Shield Rider healing the pylon, Zealot nearby, just being as annoying as possible to clean up.
Oh god. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not the biggest of deals, but again, it's cute.
Yeah, it is very cute, and he will, with the shield batteries being alive right now, he can trade with the queens, fall back to the shield battery, heal up, and then trade with the queens some more.
Oh my god, the big brain! Oh my god, I didn't even think that would come into play. Meanwhile, the Lings are trying to depower the pylon as best they can, and it looks like they will.
And one shield battery is still full of juice.
Yeah. If TriGGeR had noticed a little bit earlier, maybe he could have saved that pylon with the shield battery, but was not meant to be.
Yeah, TriGGeR's third base is quite a bit late, compared to a normal game, of course. This isn't any but a normal opener. But yeah, so is +1 air weapons, and in general, like TriGGeR, his build and where he would like to be is just significantly delayed. On the other hand, Bly, he is still only on 3 gases. He's just starting up his lair, and he's not on the most ideal drone count right now.
Again, very wonky on both sides just because of the opener and everything that happened with the proxy, with the proxy hatchery and the goal base being denied and all that stuff. There's also a very real world out there. We'll see if it happens as we have a bit of a Ling run by. If these shield batteries get repowered, I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Ooh, no queens in the main. And the thing Duckfield always criticizes Crimson about, no connecting creep from main to natural.
There is no creeps. It's gonna take so long for these queens to make it through this small gap here. 5 drones already going down, as well as the gas.
Now this is really nice damage for TriGGeR. Oh,
the queens! The queens!
I mean, your natural instinct when you see queens as void rays is to run away, so it's understandable. But still, that 2 queens like that would be very nice, because Bly does not have a lot of anti-air right now. He's starting up 3 more queens, starting a Spire. But yeah, he's going to have difficulty with dealing with these void ray numbers quite soon, which are being pumped out 3 at a time.
Yeah, exactly. My god, +1 is about to finish up as well. We do see the void rays trying to go toe-to-toe with the queens, but the transfuses are on point. Again, feels bad, man. Imagine if we had these shield batteries here.
That would have been really good for TriGGeR in this situation, because he would have been able to stand and fight the queens, force out some transfuses, and potentially even deny the hatchery. It's just another what could have been.
Yeah, feels bad, man. Feels bad.
And there's still no creep tumor, so the void rays are just sliding into the main again.
Exactly. Like, it takes so long for the queens to really respond to this. The Spire is on the way, but it's not done yet.
Bly, after running back and down with his queens, giving them an exercise, he finally decides to lay down the highway.
I mean, you know, Bly, he's looking out for his girls, okay? Like, he wants them in shape, you know? Oh god. But finally, Bly has control of his bases. You know, he's got his 4th up and running. He's working on his 5th as well, and working on that hive. Meanwhile, TriGGeR throws down his fleet beacon.
And Bly should be starting up either Mutalisk or Corruptor right about now. Yeah, here we go. 8 Corruptors. Because the thing about Corruptors is you kind of want to have a good early game to be going Corruptors off like 85 drones, very high queen count, so the queens support the Corruptors. Just alone like this, I'm not sure that Corruptors can trade with the void rays.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there are going to be a lot of Corruptors, to be fair. 18 Corruptors in total, Jesus Christ. They definitely can trade with the void rays with the support of the queens, but without them, yeah, we'll see what Bly can get done.
The scary thing is, TriGGeR is still up in supply, even after the massive round of Corruptors was made. Now, granted, Corruptors are very supply-efficient units, not like the Roach, for example, and TriGGeR has 18 supply tied up currently in Stargates resistant carriers.
Yo, and he wants to try and catch them. Okay, the Corruptors are moving out. The queens right now are trying to go toe-to-toe with the void rays, but oh, that's a 2nd queen going down already to this, and I believe the Corruptors have been scouted.
Yep. Bly's shift kicking the Corruptors, hoping to catch some Stargate production. But yeah, the void rays are trading with the queens very well. All the queens are going down, and yeah, he's having to pull back. But without transfuse support, can he really fight the void rays?
Yeah, literally every single queen just died before the Corruptors showed up. Finally, they show up, and now Prismatic Alignment goes to town. The Corruptors cannot trade against this.
3 Vipers are being made. Oh, he doesn't target the Vipers. Potentially a costly mistake, but now the Corruptors can fight the void rays with Prismatic Alignment being finished and +1 air weapons being done for the Corruptors, and TriGGeR is forced to recall.
Yeah, just in time for this massive Ling run by, so the void rays are going to be able to push them away. The carriers are finally coming out here, 3 at a time. And because of what the Corruptor count was dealt with earlier, like, again, like, these carriers are relatively safe here. The big thing, though, is that Bly does have those Vipers.
Yep. 2 or 3 parasitic bombs on Void Rays and they go poof. Especially with Queen and Corruptor support.
That they do. The splits are going to have to be on point here for TriGGeR. He has to try and
Ling
avoid that.
Way, and the Zealot is not on hold position. Lings get into the main. His Caustic spraying down the Stargates as well, and TriGGeR's forced to evacuate his main.
Ooh, something important is that he didn't get the Stargate, but he actually got the Fleet Beacon, so no more carriers are going to be in production, and the Power Bomb does connect, but the splits are okay. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, God.
TriGGeR is fighting without static defense support. Now his Shield Ability finishes, Shield Ability overcharge heals up all the carriers and all the Void Rays, forcing Bly to disengage.
Exactly. Bly does back off, but again, killing the Fleet Beacon is so important here. That is going to delay that high-tech Skytools army that TriGGeR wanted to get into. Now he's only forced to make Void Rays and doesn't even have... Okay, never mind. He does have Flux Veins.
Granted, Void Rays are what he wants to be making right now, because he has 6 carriers, and 6 carriers are more than enough to force the Zerg to micro, and what Sarah was saying earlier is force the Zerg to overkill.
Yeah, exactly. So again, kind of like a blessing in disguise. Meanwhile, we have another big fight here. Another Powerbomb does connect with the Void Ray, but this time the split was decent. He was able to pull back in time, and oh, the Vipers got picked off.
Yeah. How much does Powerbomb cost? I'm just checking if there's a Viper.
Powerbomb is
125. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he abducted a carrier, and I was wondering, like, because if you have enough energy for 2 Powerbombs.
God, no. That would be amazing. Meanwhile, ooh, that's actually a kill on the top right-hand side. Nexus, meanwhile, the Banelings are trying to waddle in. Massive Ling run right, but Void Rays are in position at the same time. The Corruptors are trying to fight, but they run into Void Rays.
And +1 Lings going to town on the Probe Mineral 9. Granted, it is minerals income, and minerals are not what TriGGeR is very limited on right now. He wants gas for his Void Rays and carriers, and TriGGeR, he's starting up a mothership.
That it is. The mama ship is on the way. Meanwhile, it looks like the Nexus is going to go down just barely. The Lings, mate, they killed 2 bases.
+2 Lings, pretty good.
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. As we have another Ling run by. Meanwhile, the Corruptors again going to town here. They were able to pick off one of the carriers earlier. There were only 3 carriers left here.
Ooh. Nice spread at the start, but he does lose some shields, or most of the shields on a lot of his flyers. Yeah, he's smartly pulling back. I don't know if Bly wants to re-engage, though.
Yeah, exactly. He does get an abduct, and you know what? He gets another carrier again. The carrier count really getting thinned out, but we just have nothing but Void Rays on the way. Meanwhile, another Ling run by.
Yeah, these Ling run bys are important, but does he have enough right now to face this army? He has nothing on the ground to contest this, like, paltry gateway force, and so all of the queens are going down.
Yeah, exactly. There is one Spore going to town, but then we go the Zealots. Sorry, I'm going to be able to clean up every single one of those queens, and there's nothing left on the ground.
1-1 Corruptors versus +2 Void Rays. I think the Void Rays are slowly being whittled down by his constant reinforcements, and TriGGeR is forced to recall.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a little bit too much. But TriGGeR did trade fairly well. At the same time, he did lose a lot of high-tech units. Like, that's the worrisome thing. But now the mothership is finally out.
The problem is, TriGGeR was sort of all in. Due to these constant Zergling run-bys Bly's been doing, he's forced onto essentially a 1.5 base economy at this point. Because it's 15 minutes into Legacy of the Void, and as Roddy likes to say, that is not enough bases for that late into the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, TriGGeR is being starved out right now. He desperately needs another base up and running, and he's trying, and Bly is aware of that, so he just keeps going for the Ling run bys. He just keeps targeting down the Nexuses. Thankfully, detection is required to help deal with all this, but there's another push here into the natural.
Mate, this is without Adrenal. Imagine these Lings with Adrenal glands and +3.
But not a Bly for not getting Adrenal. What's going on, man? He's not getting his upgrades. Oh, God. But at the moment, TriGGeR, he's doing okay. Like, again, he has to try and turtle up as best he can, get this base up and running. If he can get this gold up, and maybe he can, you know, again, rebuild.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like Bly is sort of picking TriGGeR apart right now. Like, poking into the main, poking into the natural. And Bly has finished up +2 Carapace. His Corruptors are now, like, basically back to where they started with how they try to burst forward raise.
Oh god, yeah, at least he didn't forget that upgrade. Meanwhile, nice split here when it comes to the power bomb. Again, so far so good here by TriGGeR, but another Ling run by. Oh my god, and mate, he's gonna get the kill.
Overcharge.
Oh god, it's not
Overcharge
happening.
the shield battery to heal the Nexus.
What? 7 HP.
7 HP. I think Bly should just go and...
Yeah, he wanted to go for it.
He loses 2 Corruptors for that.
Oh my god, here we go. Another massive powerbomb. Immediately it gets split off. Another powerbomb, another split. Yo, TriGGeR, he's pushing back the Corruptors.
Nice macro by TriGGeR. This is, I think, his final, all-in hurrah. He is barely mining on his gold base now, but Bly's on 83 workers. TriGGeR does have the higher army supply right now, granted. We'll see what he can do with his push.
Yeah, that he does. I mean, he's going to get a base for free, but again, Bly can afford to lose the base. He's buying time. He's gathering so much energy on all of these Vipers. My god, 4 Vipers.
And Rico is off cooldown again if TriGGeR needs this option. But yeah, Bly is losing a lot of economy right now. He needs to engage soon. Oh!
There we
minus
go.
400, minus 400.
The mothership goes down. Did cost 2 yoinks, but it did go down. And oh, actually, TriGGeR is backing off.
Yeah, maybe he isn't confident without like the utility the mothership provides. He did kill a lot of drones, or goes for the big engage.
That he does,
We'll
but
see
the
how these splits go.
Yeah, the power bombs land. That's the problem. There are just so many of these parasitic bombs. Even though we have some splits, they're still dealing damage.
Very nice splits by TriGGeR, actually. Like, he immediately split, and he's catching so many of these Vipers on the retreat.
Yeah, 3 Vipers went down. One of them actually had a decent amount of energy as well, and now he's going to town. But the Void Rays are so low.
Yeah, the Parabomb really softens up the Void Rays so Corruptors can trade with them efficiently, and with this, TriGGeR's just run out of steam. Yeah. GG's called.
GG, well played. Bly takes the series 2-1 and moves on to the next round. TriGGeR, he was so close. He was oh so close, but unfortunately he wasn't able to pull it off. He does get knocked down.
PVZ unwinnable.
mate, that was a wonky game. Again, that was a wonky game.
A very wonky game.
But there were some nice moments from both players, you know, where they both had their advantages. As you said, I think obviously the biggest thing that we can say is that those Ling run-bys did definitely pay for themselves, and they did kind of win Bly the game, forcing TriGGeR just all in.
Yeah. It is probably like the most underrated part of Zerg late game, just how powerful their Ling Bane aggression can really be in denying the Protoss the economy like it really needs to support the big endgame Skytoss army. Like TriGGeR, he never had enough gas to afford High Templar. He never had enough gas to afford Archons. He was basically stuck on like he has his endgame flyers, but not the support needed for them to really force Bly to tech into anything but Corruptors and Vipers.
Yeah, like we never saw any supportive units like say Archons or anything like that, right? To help support the Skytoss, as you were saying. Anything else other than just the pure Void Ray essentially towards the end. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But with that, you know, if you're a fan of TriGGeR, don't fret. He's still in this tournament. He just gets knocked down to the lower brackets where he will face another opponent. Meanwhile, we are going to be following Bly into his next series in round 2.